Today, we have a social scientist with us, Dr. Mala Bhandari, a PhD in sociology from the University of Delhi. So let's try and get a perspective of what are the key skills that children need to become social scientists. Hello, Dr. Mala, and welcome to our chat show. So, Mala, today we wanted to get your perspective on what are the key skills that children need to, to make a career as a social scientist.
So, when you ask me the question, what are the skills required to work or to be a part of the development sector, I would say understanding you and me is the basic skill required to work in this sector. Yes. If I don't understand other people who are humans and who are social beings, who are a part of the social ecosystem, and if I can't understand, that is where I falter. So the fourth prerequisite to enter this sector is understanding the social beings, the humans, their requirements, their needs, trying to understand what they need and where is it that you can contribute to improve their quality of life, to bring a change or the desired impact.
Yeah, very nice, Mala. I think somewhere that means it's the interpersonal and the intrapersonal skills that that the child needs to develop during his school years. So yes. You get so many interns, Dr. Mala, in your NGO right after college for internships. What are the skills that you find missing these days? What is it that you feel that children, you wish that children had learned or had developed those skills in their schools or colleges before they came out into the real world to work?
What I find personally is that our universities are not very equipped to give the practical or teach the practicals of the social sector to our students. You know, when they come, they have the theoretical knowledge, but they don't know how to connect this theory or theoretical knowledge with the practical thing. They don't know how to go in the community, how to converse in the community, how to communicate with people in the community, and how to become a part of that community. That's lacking.
So somewhere... Sorry, no, carry on.
So I remember when we were studying in Delhi University, we had a very strong tradition of fieldwork. You know, today the fieldwork has a very different meaning for the students. It's more of, going in the field, doing your bit and coming back. That's not how community work needs to be done. So the skill which is required in that student is how he can relate the theoretical knowledge that he has gained in the university and how he can apply it on ground. That linkage is missing. Now, yes, NGOs are responsible in a way to inculcate that kind of a thing, but it would be much better if the students are equipped with that skill of linking the two worlds, in the thing. So if, and these are the skills which don't come overnight.
Yes.
These skills need to be inculcated.
So coming to the point, do you think that at school level, children need to develop a real world connect, and so that they can appreciate, they can learn from each other, they understand each other's problems, they develop empathy? So somewhere, instead of having very structured programs, some sort of intermingling, some sort of real world experiences are necessary?
First of all, I think it has to be a part of the school curriculum, that the students understand the social concepts. See, what is happening is the very social concepts, the basic social concepts are being learnt by these students when they enter the college or when they are doing higher studies in this discipline. So the foundation is not strong because they've never learned these concepts. For instance, I'll give you a very small example. When the interns come to us, we tell them the concept of three P's, that is people, planet, and profit. Now, this concept has to be known to the child when he's studying in school, so that he can appreciate what has to be, how the planet has to be, how the profit and people, how there has to be a balance between the three P's. Unless he understands that, how would he build upon his knowledge in that area? For instance, another example, we are talking of coronavirus these days. Now we are thinking that this coronavirus is not going to go from our life. If we think that another 6 months or a year our life will become normal, I have very strict, very strong doubts about it. We have to live with these threats. We have to live with these viruses. So if we teach the children what is a virus, what is its genesis, what is its inception, how does it occur, how do we have to prevent, I think that's going to be a beautiful education experience for these children. They can educate their peer group, they can educate their parents, they can educate the community, the people whom they live with. Yeah. So the journey has to begin when they are small. Yeah. Nip in the bud. Educate them when they need to be educated and there's a need to follow a certain thought process.
And I think somewhere
you just can't,
Yeah. Somewhere we need to build a holistic view of everything that they are studying. It cannot be.
School is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, school is a second institution in the life of a child. First is the family, then comes the social institution of school. If school is a powerful tool to educate a child in the holistic way, nothing can beat it.
Yes. And do you think a mentorship program, like if suppose social scientists are there to mentor children and give them a more diverse perspective, do you think that could help in building those skills that are missing in kids?
Absolutely, Vishali. Absolutely. I would definitely support it. I mean, if the social scientists can go to the school, talk to the children, tell them these social concepts in the most simplistic language, the children would relate to it. They would understand the value of human life. They would understand the value of community living, and they would understand the value of respect to each other.
Yes, and I think that is missing so much in today's world, even though we're all trying, but somewhere that disconnect is still continuing.
And in very strongly, during our times, though, there used to be a subject of moral education. We don't need moral education in schools. We need development education in schools. We need the development discourse to enter our schools so that children are just not rote memorizers. They are the ones who understand human life, the human civilization, can value it.
So do you think, doing away with subjects, social subjects like history, geography in primary classes is going to impact the way children think about their social structure?
Absolutely. Why don't we integrate? Why don't we have an integrated approach? Why is it that, children hate history? They can't learn the entire chronology of, which battle happened after which date and all. That thing needs to change now. The battles of our historical battles also, they were a part of the social ecosystem. So if those battles or those chronological orders are taught, embedded in that social structure and the social ecosystem of that time, children would learn it better.
Yes.
Children would make those.
Yeah, because it will give a real world connect to those battles and how they impacted people's lives. So somewhere, instead of doing away with the subjects, the key thing that educationists need to look at is how we are disseminating those subjects, how we are transacting that information in classrooms.
And how we're making it valuable to human life.
Yes, absolutely. At the end
All
of
these
the day,
subjects.
absolutely. At the end of the day, it is about how we impact each other and the planet as a whole.
Our education system has been disconnected from a human life.
Yes.
You know,
Very good
that's
point.
why when children get out of school, they are lost. Which subject do I go for? What do I do in life? Because they couldn't understand the intricacies or the true meaning of human life when they had to, or
Somewhere
when they were supposed to.
yes, somewhere I think while growing up, they get disconnected with their own self, and they get so, I think they are just so caught up in the structural teaching and learning that inner disconnect happens. Somewhere that, otherwise, I personally believe that every child is born with his own inner intelligence, and all that we need to do is preserve that magic and wonder and help children connect with their own potential. And
Absolutely.
somewhere I think in their growing up years, they just disconnect. They get so lost in the structural aspect of education that inner connect is totally lost. And maybe that is why they feel so lost after they finish their school.
Yeah, I think the focus is not on the child. In our present education system, it's like give him everything. The child should know everything, 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 and in that the whole concept of childhood is being lost.
Yeah.
What is the requirement? What is the need of a child? What direction we are putting that child in? The focus is lost.
I think also it's the expectations. As a society, the expectations need to change, because the schools, the teachers are delivering what society expects them to. I mean, if they are expecting that my child should, a child who gets a 90% above will get into a good college, then obviously it is the pressure of getting that 90% is what is percolating down, and that becomes like the focus of the education system. So I think somewhere we need to break that barrier and maybe create a more holistic expectation from the child or from the education system, and that is where change will happen.
Absolutely. So that means the focus has to be the child.
Yes.
And the child, how the child grows, and what are the aspirations and dreams of this child.
Yes.
So because it is
the child and his experiences.
Absolutely. Because it is this child who is going to take over. The child, when grows, is going to take over the world. And don't wait for the child when he grows or when he attains the age of 18, the so-called adult age. No. It is the very tender age of the child as he is growing. It has to be incorporated in the growing up process.
Yes, it has to be a process. You can't suddenly make a child into a thinker in senior school. It has to be part of his growing up years, so that he's questioning, he's preserving his magic and wonder.
Absolutely. So what you said was mentorship program in schools. I think it should be made compulsory.
Yeah.
Let the domain experts go to the school, talk to the children, take their questions.
Yes.
Because society is changing. Every day there is a change.
Absolutely. And unless we adapt to this change and we help children get skilled to be able to, be light on their feet and adapt, I think it'll become very difficult for them to thrive and, kind of take life in a very positive way.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mala, for being with us today and giving such deep insights into the social aspect of education. And I think we as educationists need to think whether we are educating children for a better tomorrow, or is it still going to be just for 90 on 90 or 100 on 100? Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being with us today.
Yeah. Thank you, Vaishali, for taking up such a pertinent subject. And I'm sure with your efforts, change is going to be very soon.